Hello, past clients, current clients, and future clients. I'm Rebecca Lindquist, the speech, voice, and accent coach in the Bay Area, and I'm ready to share with you Snafu number 6. And this one is all about overthinking. Now, most of us are pretty cognitive, especially in the Bay Area. We think about a lot of stuff. I have clients who have MBAs, PhDs, very knowledgeable people. You may be a person who does a lot of thinking. Nothing wrong with that. However, overthinking is when you think too much. And that is when you say, I'm going to say all these really smart things, and my breath is just going to catch up with it. And I'm going to talk, and I'm going to talk, and I'm just going to keep sharing and sharing. And notice what's happening. Do you hear how I'm speeding up in a way that's not really conducive to you understanding what I'm saying? Now, instead, I'm not now trying to slow down. What I'm actually doing is connecting to my breathing. Now, how you go from being very cognitive to being connected is a journey. It may not happen overnight. And this is one reason that meditation is a very powerful tool. So if you haven't tried meditation, you might start there. Not necessarily to fix your speech, and certainly not during the meditation, but as a result of calming the mind and calming the body, you'll notice that you begin to breathe differently. And the key to good speech is that the breath is the leader, not the brain. Now, in a sense, the brain is also involved in breathing, but the idea is that instead of overthinking what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and forcing your breath to keep up, the breath is the leader. So think about inhaling first, filling with breath wherever the body wants to fill, and then holding in the chest. There is a brief holding before you release. The reason for that is you don't want to collapse completely. So this is collapse breathing. I have clients who talk like this, and this is when they're first learning how to breathe. So they're still talking really fast because what they're doing is they're just releasing all the breath. The breath's not in charge. The brain was in charge of that release. So instead of releasing the breath, think of it being in charge. Breathing is the most important element. Pretend that that is truly the case for you. In a sense, in the beginning, it is pretending. You have to have some faith. You inhale, you breathe, and then the brain has the job of syncing the words with the breath. Now, the key to this is you can't rush the breath. Remember, the breath is in charge. So what I'm doing now is I'm speaking with the breath, and it might seem like I have some pretty long pauses. But as a listener, what do you notice about your ability to follow what I say? As opposed to, what if I overthink it? So I'm going to think, and I'm going to shut my breathing down, and I'm just going to talk and tell you lots of stuff. What do you notice about the speech? Do you like this quality better? It's crisper maybe, and maybe I'm thinking really quickly and communicating ideas, but I'm actually holding my breath. So one sign that your brain is taking over is you'll start holding. You might even feel a squeeze in your throat. So the first thing I do when my speech begins to speed and I begin to lose control of the pacing, remember, as I mentioned to you earlier in the first snafu, that speaking slowly is really a myth. So it's not that I'm speaking fast, although it may seem that way to the listener. It's that I'm losing control of my pacing. So as my pacing becomes something I can no longer control and I squeeze, now my speech is going to get lightning fast. And there are other qualities. The compression and the tension cause the speech to change in ways that the pitch goes up, it's fairly unpleasant, and I'm basically not in control of what I'm saying. So if you want to have the best qualities on your speech, allowing the breath to lead the way is very powerful. And this is why overthinking is not going to take you where you want to go. You need to let go of those cognitive cerebral habits that helped you get that MBA, PhD, be successful in what you do at work. Those are good qualities, but there's a place for them. And my argument to you is that in speech and in breath, it's not the place for doing a lot of overthinking. It's the place for letting things happen and just see what materializes. Just give yourself a chance. You don't have to buy in completely. Simply record yourself allowing the breath to lead and the words to follow. And then you be the judge and let your audience be the judge with some really good feedback as to how you sound. And if you want to practice doing less overthinking and note-taking and more experiential learning, look me up. I'd love to work with you.